Hi everyone. I'm wanting to do my Act 9 for Sailor Moon Crystal review. I will be talking fast because I do not know how the internet's going to act, so let me get started. And again, I'll be comparing it to the 90s. Anything I forget, or if I say anything twice, um, just be aware that I'm trying to cover all this before the internet goes out again. And so, if I forget anything again, please just put it in the comments in the video. And sorry if you can't see me, my camera's kinda iffy, but I will try to fix that. Okay, well, that's as best I can do it. So, anyway, Act 9 for Sailor Moon Crystal aired on November 5th, which was last Saturday, and it was titled Serenity Princess. And right off the bat, it picked up right where Act 8 left off, where uh, Darien was taking the hit from Malachite for Sailor Moon. And in the 90s, we didn't get to see the real Moon Princess appear until episode 30, whereas in this episode, it happened really quickly. It happened in the ninth episode of the series. So this episode had a lot of emotion. It went really fast, and uh, something I did not know until this episode was that in the crystal, the moon crystal was inside Sailor Moon. And so when she cried when Darien got hit, uh, it broke the seal and the moon crystal appeared, the silver crystal appeared. And her true identity as Princess Serena showed. Whereas in the 90s, uh, again, this didn't happen until episode 30, so in the 90s, Darien was fighting Zoisite, or was challenged by Zoisite uh, to come to the Tokyo Tower to fight for the 7 rainbow crystals. And in the 90s, Darien, or Tuxedo Mask, was injured due to a crystal, and Sailor Moon's tears caused the 7 rainbow crystals to form the Imperium Silver Crystal, which allowed her to be revealed as the true Moon Princess. So that happened in the 90s, and like I said, this happened a lot quicker. Uh, it, there's something different from the 90s episode in this episode. In Crystal, uh, Sailor Moon's hair starts to grow longer and longer each time she starts to remember her past life as the Moon Princess. Whereas in the 90s, it didn't. She showed up as the Moon Princess, or she was awakened as the Moon Princess. Uh, she told Prince Darien, or Endymion, actually, about his past life. And then that's how he regained his memory uh, in the 90s, and he was brainwashed. But in this episode, he basically stays knocked out for the entire episode. But the Negaverse, or the Dark Kingdom, still takes him hostage. So that's something that's kind of similar. Actually, that is similar. And something that's different is in the 90s, Prince Darien, or Endymion, went to visit Princess Serena, or Serenity. And but in this episode, Serena, or Serenity, tells us that she went to Earth to visit Endymion, or Darien. But I did not know that the Moon Kingdom people and Earth people were not allowed to be together. That is something that I didn't know until Crystal. And so yeah, it happens pretty fast. The scouts, when Kunzite tries to attack Sailor Moon again, they block it. They kind of attack him. Um, and then after Sailor, Endymion's taken, uh, they disappear, and then we get to the point where the scouts are in the base. And something I thought that was kind of out of line for Sailor Venus to do in Crystal was, while Serena was crying, she tells her, "You know, I'm the real leader for the scouts." Yes, Sailor Venus is the real leader, but I think that was kind of like bad timing on their part. So on her part, so that's something I didn't like about this episode. But other than that, everything was good. Another thing that happened in Crystal um, was uh, when the scouts went to Serena's house and saw her hair grow. They did cut it, so that was something different. And they're like, what do we do now? And Luna's bright idea is, let's go to the moon. So that's different. They didn't go to the moon until episode 39 in the 90s, so there was some filler in between now and the story arc in the 90s, so that's different. Like I said, Crystal is moving a lot faster following the manga, and also that's what happened was uh, in the Dark Kingdom lair, or base, I should say, the four knights, Zoisite, Nephlite, and Jedite, and Malachite, they're all still alive in Crystal, whereas in the 90s they got killed off. First it was Jedi with the Eternal Sleep, then it was uh, Nephrite with some thorns or something, some thorns. Then Beryl killed Zoisite for hurting Tuxedo Mask. And I'm not sure how Malachite got killed in the 90s. I think Beryl did the same thing. She killed him for all the failing. But yes, that's what happened. They're all alive, and they're trying to figure out how do we know Endymion. Well, we don't remember him. And also in the 90s, or in the 90s, uh, it wasn't really told, but in this episode, but all the Moon Kingdom people, Serena, Darien, all of them got trapped in the crystal, Imperium Silver Crystal, to be reborn on Earth. Whereas in Crystal, when Beryl tries to attack Princess Serena, or Serenity, Prince Darien, or Endymion, takes the blade and he actually dies. So that's something new that I did not know until Crystal. And we get to actually see Beryl in civilian clothing, which is kind of weird. But other than that, but yeah, it's kind of, you know, kind of similar, kind of not. But Act 10 will be showing, or will be streaming this coming Saturday. And so it's called Act 10 Moon. I know, really kind of ingenious on that part. So, and real quick, what I wanted to cover also is when Serenity was awakened, uh, Venus started remembering that she is not the princess. She is actually Sailor Venus, the guardian, or the scout, the real leader of the scouts. So that's something different. Like I said, it's a lot of emotion, a lot of raw emotion for this episode. But anyway, there you go. That is my review for Act 9, Serenity Princess. My next review will be for Act 10, Moon, which will be probably, I would say, a week after it airs, or I'll try to get it up quick. But there you go. I will see you in the next Sailor Moon review video.